Hey everyone. Man, I am tired today. So drained. It is just one of those days. I feel so freaking crusty, and it was so hard to even drag my butt out of bed and get to starting my day. Everyone has these days, and that's one of the things that I wanted to come here and say is sometimes it's just enough to show up. You know, it's not natural to go 100% all of the time, and it's so damaging that is what's pushed on us today in the workforce, especially younger people, is that you just have to work your entire life at 100%, otherwise you mean nothing. And even, people push that kind of mentality with personal practices, even like the gym, for example, of just having to work 100% all of the time, and it is not a natural thing at all to go 100% all the time. You're just so drained, and it's I believe a massive contributing factor to why so many people in their 20s and 30s are just burnt out and just can't do anything. And yes, sometimes it's just enough to simply show up. Like today I had the option to not work if I wanted to, but then I would have had to work tomorrow. So that's the reality, is that it was actually better for me to show up and work at 50% than it would be for me to not do anything today and then to probably work still at 50% tomorrow. So sometimes just showing up is one of the best things that you can do. And that then also is another thing that I wanted to talk about and to share, is that the harsh reality of the fact that, hey, it's Nala, everything, we're material beings living in a material world, and we consume materials in the form of food, and we need shelter and water and whatnot. Everything requires material work. Even if you don't need to work a job to earn money, like where I live, I do 20 hours a week work for my food and accommodation. So I don't actually need to work a job for money. But even then, I'm still working. And I know a few families and households and a couple of dear friends of mine that they live on essentially farmsteads, and a lot of what they eat and use is grown on their own land. And let me tell you that is a full-time freaking job, and they work hard at it. And you're constantly having to work to grow what you're going to eat in 3 months, and every day that you eat, you need to be considering what you have left, what you have growing, and God forbid that there's a natural disaster and then your food's all gone or something crazy like that. Like, it is, we have this, that is so many people's dreams and ideals today, to never work a day in their life, or to, even, and you see it in the young generation, especially in New Zealand and especially in certain parts of the country, that so many people are just on the benefit, not working at all, not doing anything, which is fine, if not fine, actually, no, I think it's a massive detriment to this entire country and society to have this system that supports people doing nothing. But anyway, not bagging on anyone on that. I've been on it for a few months before. I was going to say that that's fine if you need it. Like, if you're going to freaking starve otherwise and you have a family to feed, and it's something in between you working out other ways to support yourself and your family, then that's exactly what it's there for. But it is systems like that allow us to do nothing, which is not natural as well. So even though it's not natural to do 100% all of the time, it is not natural to do 0% as well. Because think about how our ancestors evolved as well. If you do nothing in nature, you're going to starve to death. That's the reality. But we live in a society that has these systems set up that allow people to do nothing. And that's not natural, and that's not conducive to healthy living. And I get it, man. I go through these phases of not wanting to do anything. So even now, just a week ago, I got back from an 8-day hike, and I was fucked. I think we walked like 70 kilometers up and down mountains, and it was hectic. I had never gone for longer than 2 days before on a hike, and I went straight into 8 days, and it was gnarly. It was so much fun, though. It was so cool hiking in the snow for part of it even. And anyway, I got back, and Mark, the property owner here, was lovely enough to let us not work like the few days after. But then when it came, time to work again, my legs were still fucked, and I jumped in my van and buggered off for the week. I'm not working, and I go through phases of this, of there's times where I absolutely do not want to work. So I'll grab Nala, I'll go off into the bush, I'll go stay at the beach, I'll go somewhere, ideally where I can, yes, just kind of have a cruisier time. Still doing stuff, still helping out if there's stuff to be done around, but just not like hard work. And then there's times where I'll get the mahi done. I'll work frickin' hard. And yeah, I go through stages of not wanting to do anything, and I still sometimes have this weird little perspective and dream of just doing nothing. Doing nothing. Oh, that sounds great. And then you do nothing, and you realize, man, this is kind of boring. I kind of want to do stuff. And yeah, it just shows that it's not natural for us to be doing nothing. And if you spend years and years doing nothing, it screws you up, man. I've known a lot of people that have been on the benefit for the majority of their adult life, and they struggle as human beings, especially to live in this society. And it also makes very entitled beings of being like, oh, well, I shouldn't have to work. And it's like, yeah, I understand that perspective totally. I also have the perspective of you shouldn't have to work, and you don't have to work in the sense of having a 9-to-5 job or earning money. You don't have to. Come out here and go frickin' find somewhere that will let you work just labor for accommodation and food. There you go. You don't have to have a job, but you still got to do something. That's the reality. Is that in nature and in a more natural way of living, you have to do stuff. These systems like benefits that our first world countries and these Western countries have the absolute blessing to have, they're also kind of a curse, because they breed this perspective in people that you can do nothing. But in nature, doing nothing means you starve. Anyway, that was actually not what I wanted to talk about, but that's where that headed anyway. So a few takeaways from this message is, make sure you rest. Don't force yourself to go 100% all of the time. Sometimes showing up is simply the best thing that you can do. And here's Eva, the other dog. Doing nothing is not natural either. Doing nothing for extended periods of time anyway. And yeah, it is not conducive to healthy living. And yeah, if you are drained all of the time, because everyone has these tired days, everyone has these down days, whatever, but if you're drained all of the time, look at your lifestyle choices and what you're doing and consider maybe they are contributing to it. Look at your diet. Think about, whether you're drinking too much and if you feel like crap the next day, if you're smoking too much marijuana, for example. I love to dabble in herb, but I'm fully aware that it makes me tired as hell the next day, especially if I smoke really late. And yeah, your diet's huge. Just everything is super important to you having the energy to do stuff, and then try to do things that uplift your energy and make you more. Come here, Papa. Come here. Oh, I wanted to give her a pat, but she's watching. Eva's just digging a hole. Now Nala's gonna go join. Anyway, I talked for longer than I wanted to. Yeah. Yep. I've said what I wanted to say. Go easy on yourself. Make sure you do stuff though, and do stuff that is good for you and that you want to be doing and is expansive and is helping you grow and be alive and be out here doing stuff, be out in nature, hear these beautiful birds sing, see these dogs dig their crazy holes, do their crazy things, and yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Alright, take care guys. I'm gonna go have a cold swim, try wake me up. I'm still so groggy, so tired, and it's like 1 o'clock. I get the weekend off though, which is great. I've just been making necklaces to make money, even though I don't need the money. Money's useful. and got future goals that I'm building towards, which I'm going to keep secret for a little while. As yeah, and then also I want to eventually work my way back up to Whangarei for a while, which is the other end of the country, which is expensive, driving across the country with the dog. So anywho, this is my message. So yeah, take care guys, peace and love.